Sentire Media.
Welcome to the Stop Italian Sounding podcast, uncovering authentic Italian food. I'm your host, Robert Campana, and join me as we delve into the rich heritage of genuine Italian food, exploring its legends, history, and traditions. Through important tips and insightful interviews with industry professionals, you'll gain a deeper understanding of authentic Italian food. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stop Italian Sounding Show, uncovering authentic Italian food. So, every year on March 19th, Italians celebrate St. Joseph's Day, which also happens to be Father's Day in Italy, which is a feast especially in the beloved southern Italy. And like many Italian celebrations, it comes with a very specific food tradition and pastries that often are very much known and enjoyed even in the Italian American community as well, which are dedicated to this specific occasion. But there's something fascinating because depending on where you are in Italy, the traditional dessert for St. Joseph's Day could look a little different. And today, of course, we are talking about, in case you have not guessed yet, the two iconic sweets, the Zeppole di San Giuseppe from Campania and the Sfince di San Giuseppe from Sicily. Same feast day, different desserts, and each one, of course, tells story about that regional identity and tradition. So let's start with the Zeppole di San Giuseppe, which is strongly, of course, associated with Napoli and the Campania region in general. And it's a Zeppole that begins with a specific dough that is used to make cream puffs or eclairs, more or less. So something similar to that extent. And the dough is piped into a ring shape and either fried or baked. I personally like the fried version. And of course, it depends on your personal taste. And once cooked, it's filled with a sort of pastry cream topped with a cherry, usually an amarena cherry. Delicious, by the way. If you have not tried them, you have to try them. And then finished with powdered sugar. And the result is quite delicious, to say the least. Okay, it's a light pastry, rich cream, and a little burst of that sweet tart fruit on the top with the amarena cherry. It gives it a beautiful. And historically, these pastries were often fried, which connects them to the tradition of festive sweets typically prepared by street vendors in Naples during the St. Joseph celebrations. And today you'll find both baked, of course, and fried versions, but more the symbolism and timing remain the same. And this is, of course, the traditional pastry of March 19th for La Festa di San Giuseppe. Now, we're going to travel a little farther south in the region of Sicily, where the traditional St. Joseph's dessert is a little different, and we're referring to the Sfince di San Giuseppe. So the word sfincia comes from a term meaning something similar to like a sponge or a soft dough, and that really is a perfect fit of a description for the Sfince di San Giuseppe, because these pastries are a little larger compared to the Zeppole di San Giuseppe in Naples. They're irregular shaped, they're fried dough puffs, and they're soft and airy, of course, inside. But the real star is the topping, because the Sfince are covered with sweet ricotta cream, which is typically mixed with sugar and sometimes chocolate chips. Then they're decorated with the candied fruit, chopped pistachios, and occasionally the candied cherry or an orange peel. Really, really Sicilian. They're rustic. They're generous with of course, the filling of the ricotta. They are 100% Sicilian, has Sicily written all over it. Of course, reflecting the island's love for ricotta, for the pistachio, and for the vibrant pastry decorations. And of the two, personally, my favorite, I have to say, I am Team Sfince because I really like the ricotta. So why do we have two completely different pastries for the same holiday? And of course, like I said 1,000 times already, the answer lies in one of the most fascinating aspects of Italian cuisine, its regional identity and regional diversity. So Italy, of course, is not divided by one national recipe. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that already. Instead, each region developed its own traditions based on local ingredients, local history, local traditions, and cultural influences throughout the centuries. And in Campania, the pastry tradition leaned towards that specific dessert, kind of like the eclair type of pastry, based with the pastry cream, while in Sicily, the influence of the ricotta-based sweets and the Arab-influenced pastry traditions shaped the Sfince. Anyway, on La Festa di San Giuseppe, St. Joseph's Day, whether you're enjoying a delicious zeppola topped with the pastry cream and the amarena cherries, or a Sfince piled with that delicious ricotta and pistachios, you are participating in centuries-old traditions. Different regions, of course, different recipes, but the same spirit of tradition. That's today's episode of Uncovering Authentic Italian Food. Buona Festa di San Giuseppe. Happy Father's Day if you're in Italy. And thank you very much for listening. Don't forget that in Italy, every holiday has a story and usually more than one dessert. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the stories of authentic Italian cuisine. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more insights and interviews. Also, feel free to reach out with your thoughts or questions on our social media channels at Stop Italian Sounding or on our website, stopitasounding.com. Grazie a tutti e alla prossima.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.